Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Farming Simulator 2019. Been a little bit since we've done this. So, just kind of to start, I am going to, well, we've already accepted a mission. Use the weeder over on field 4. You can see it up there, one of the larger fields. So we're actually going to get to use this fancy weeder that we bought a little bit ago. Now, will it actually work on this field? I am hoping the answer is yes, because if not, we're going to have a whole lot of problems. Especially since the contract specifically says weeding. So, through the magic of Farming Simulator, we will get that turned and connected. Hope we don't get hit by a train as we back out of here. And miss that trailer. See our little header trailer over here. Not sure how I feel about it. It's really hard to get the header off of there once it's on, so it's definitely a bit of a pain in the butt. But we've got our nice, very large weeder. By large, I mean very, very large. Go ahead and look to the left and the right. We can get across before that car gets here. And we will start the short drive over there. It's actually not going to be too bad. You can see right there, gotta follow this road without being out of the lines. Like a tiny little turn and we'll be at 4. I think 4 is the field that we've fertilized once or twice because it gives some really good profits for it. I think it pays like 10,000 if you use the fertilizer. Sadly, the weeder only pays about 4,000, but I saw some people talking about how it might be a bit of a bug, for whatever reason, that with the weeder missions, if you rent a weeder, for example, if I rented this setup, it would actually result in making no money whatsoever, which is a little crazy when you think about it. Because the weeder, it costs a little bit, but it's nothing ridiculous. But the fact that you could do an entire mission leasing equipment and end up making nothing for your time, that's just a little crazy. I don't know about you, but it is to me. So you just got to get across this bridge. We will be right about there. I mean, I like this weeder. It looks really good. They modeled it really well. They modeled everything very well from what I've seen. Let the Volvo go. I think that's a Volvo. Hope it's a Volvo. And since there's no traffic, we'll go ahead and start unfolding this thing. I believe we should be able to go ahead and lower it. And we will start removing the weeds from this crop. As you can see them right there in front. As we go over, they disappear. So it looks like it is working this time. That's amazing. Still don't know why it didn't work on ours. I guess I waited just one stage too long for whatever reason, which it happens. It's annoying, but it happens. But yeah, we will get this field done really quickly. Fortunately, this thing is pretty large. And we will see you guys when it is time to work on our own field. So we've finished the contract. I believe we have we'll do one more pass for him. Real quick, because I know there's a little bit more that we need to do. So I'll get one last pass. And we will fold it up and head back to the yard, get some rest. And we still need to plant crops in our field. So bright and early tomorrow morning, that is what we will do. Alright, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to start seeding. I decided that I'm going to go with soybeans, partly because we don't have a ton of, well, we have 0 storage to our name. So I don't want to get something that yields a crazy high amount on something that has a high-ish selling price. We don't have to make a ton of trips for. So that's pretty much the entire rationale behind soybeans instead of, say, running wheat again, running barley, any of the other crops. I think it's a good crop. It does pay really well. So yeah, we are planting soybeans, and luckily it looks like it doesn't take too much seed to use, so we should have a fair amount left over. I'm really glad that we combined these two fields in the last episode, because it definitely will increase the yield. We won't have to worry so much about planting 2 fields. We can do it all just here in one pass, and we get a slight yield boost by having this little middle section that we can use. You can see barely see the spots where the fertilizing didn't work quite right. I'm still not 100% sure what I did on it. I'm pretty sure it's just that, a little bit of overspray in that area whenever we were fertilizing the fields themselves, so where the grass was, it's technically fertilized. Not going to complain, but it definitely does look a little bit odd. This headland is going along pretty nicely. It is a little bit weird having such a large field now, and this tractor is definitely struggling a little bit with this seeder. But it's definitely a lot better options than some of the other ones out there. Now, there is a pretty good chance that I will accept a contract for field 16 right here. I did see that it would like to be cultivated. They were looking for somebody to do the cultivation for them. So once we get this done, we might look into doing that for them. But until then, we'll just focus on this one field. Now, eventually I do want to purchase field 16 as well, purchase the land that it's on so we can create an even bigger field. And then hopefully we can do the exact same with field 17 later. Which, as far as size, I think it might end up being... It should be larger than 9 and 10, I would think. I mean, it's a little bit different shape, but it should be similar size, at least I hope. Even if it isn't, I mean, still going to be a pretty solid yield. And it looks like we're starting to get... thinking those were some weeds that were starting to crop up on this field. So it looks like we might be using the weeder again pretty soon. I'm not sure we'll do it immediately, but we definitely will have to do it at some point from the looks of it. I didn't think they'd crop up on a cultivated field that hadn't been planted yet, but learn something new every day. We are coming up on one final pass. So this tractor is starting to get a little bit low on maintenance. So we'll probably have to take it in fairly soon. Not immediately, but probably in the next couple episodes. So kind of been debating, do we want to upgrade, say instead of this 6M with a 165 horsepower engine, we want to look into getting, say, 6R, replace it. And I know it would be quite a bit of money, but it might end up being a pretty good investment, I would think, just to get the additional horsepower and the additional capabilities of having a larger tractor. So let me know what we should do. This tractor, I love it, but I also wouldn't complain about stepping up a little bit, get something a little bit nicer. Something that looks a little bit more badass. Not that this thing doesn't just look absolutely amazing out here, but 6R is just a completely different animal. It would also maybe go a little bit quicker with this sewing machine. Hopefully able to go full 12 miles an hour instead of hanging out right here at about 5 or 6. But he's pulling it just fine. Just a little slow, but I don't know. So we are starting to get some weeds on this field. I will finish up the sowing real quick, get some weeding done, and then we'll see about doing that cultivation mission over there on field 16. I think odd looking would probably be a pretty good way to describe this field, with the prevalence of the weeds popping up right in the middle of our seeding job, meaning that as we pass over them, some spots get hit and taken out, some definitely haven't been. So once we get it seeded, we get this field seeded, I'm going to take a quick look at the map and make sure that we don't have to run over these areas with the weeder. I don't think we will, but I definitely want to double check that and be sure. Then we will make that little pass with the weeder over the untouched parts, which shouldn't be too much to take care of and handle. But it'll definitely be fun. It'll be fun seeing what it looks like having to make those tiny little patches. Is definitely some weed patches out here. This tractor though, this thing is a definite trooper for us. For the value, I really don't know if you can beat this little 6M. And I'm also noticing, I hadn't really noticed those specific little indents that you can see on the ground. Like the one right there, another one up here. I knew this game had a little bit more rolling terrain, it seemed, but those are definitely a lot deeper than figured they should be. I'm also going to have to make a quick repass here, because I do not have a GPS on. We definitely are going to have to deal with those occasional issues, unfortunately. Those taken care of, and please be wide enough, please be wide enough. He's not wide enough. That's a really tiny spot. We can get it done really quickly. In fact, I will do it this way. Totally not approved, but my farm, I do what I want. And one last spot to get sown. Boom. Turn everything off, start folding it up while we drive back over, and we will pick up the weeder. We only have a few spots. It should go by pretty quickly. Fortunately, we have a pretty good sized weeder. And I do need to get a hut built. So I did download, I found it on the Mod Hub, the new shelter mods that have been released. So I'm real excited to get some of those, especially since they're not completely open air. That's one of the things that, I like the stuff that Giants put in the game, but I definitely also enjoy having something that's a little more closed off, rather than being exclusively open air. You can get to it however. Oh, I might have just broken our sprayer. Luckily, we don't really need to use the sprayer, so hopefully we'll be okay there. We'll hook up to the weeder. Now I did look at the condition of our machines, since this one is getting not close to needing some, but definitely it's seen some wear. Been used a fair amount. It's below half. Surprisingly, the weeder is right up there as well as having been heavily used. At least according to the percent condition it has. Yeah, I kind of want to get rid of that bush that overhangs the field, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's not a huge deal. So we'll do the headland real quick, then we'll just hit the tiny little patches. Shouldn't be too much for us to really need to weed. I think we took care of the vast majority of it, since the seeder went over those spots and took them out whenever we were seeding in the soybeans. And again, I love how large this weeder is. The fact that this tractor can handle it really well, a lot better than you might think for a tractor this size, being towards the lower end of the medium-sized tractors. I hate that we're going to have just that tiny little patch up here in these corners, though. I'm just going to do the headland first, then I'll come back for it. It's not a big deal. This tractor loves to work. She likes having the additional time out here. Getting to drive that much more. Go ahead and get the next one started. Get this end done, and we will be done right up here, which is really nice. I mean, we're finishing this spot up really quickly. I think it's just the bottom one that's really going to have those tiny little patches, since we were coming from this top side down to the bottom whenever we were seeding. So that was one, since we had two headlands before we went in. I think that's why we have those small little sections that need to be taken care of. And back it on up. Go ahead and drop it and get this last little section done. I'm kind of curious, since you can use the weeder during, well, obviously using it when the crops are growing, but once they're out of the ground. In real life, you wouldn't really use a weeder while the crops are coming out of the ground, right? That's something I got to thinking about because I saw somebody mention it. That if the crops are already coming out of the ground, I think you would probably risk ripping up your crops themselves. So you probably wouldn't use the weeder, you'd probably use the sprayer all the time instead. That's something I got to thinking about a little bit. And the birds just popped out of the ground, because apparently they are living down there. And we are so close, guys. We are so close to getting this field completely weeded, completely ready to go, fully fertilized. This is just the very last step that I believe we will need to take. Now, with my luck, okay, is that a weed there that I need to pull up? Come on, please be a weed. And the answer is no, it is a shrub of some sort. Likes of which I've never seen before. Now we just hit the tiny little patches over here. And we can say that this is a weed-free environment. Because that is what the Deere program taught me in 5th grade. One of the things I hadn't really noticed until now is just listen to the birds. Those birds actually sound really good. Now, it might have been in other Farming Simulator games, it could have been in 17, I just didn't notice it, but what I do know is that I notice it now and I'm really, really liking it. Just one of the little touches that they added this year that really adds to the immersion of the game. Because I'm sure if you're out here, you definitely would hear some birds. Now your tractor would probably drown out a lot of them in reality, but you definitely would hear the birds. So we will drop this off and look at the map just to be 100% sure that we have field completely weeded. Go ahead and stop it here. Go over here to the map. Soil composition. Look to be good. Now there are tiny patches of them. Tiny patches where it says it needs lime, but overall, field is just about perfect. Sure, once GPS and Courseplay comes out, we'll be able to get it. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh my god. Come on. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Oh, there we go. Oh my god, I scared myself by rolling the tractor there. This thing is very top heavy. That's part of why I kind of want to go get us a 6R instead of this 6M. So that might have swayed me even more towards that direction. And we knocked over the subsoiler. This is going great. How do I stand this thing back up? I'm being completely honest. How do I stand this thing back up? And we connect. Do we connect this side? Yeah, we do. Come on. Come on, girl. No, we connect the other side, but we got her stood back up. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. It definitely got exciting there at the end, because I clearly am not in control of my own tractor. So, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Do we need more missions? Do we not need more missions? Do you just want me to figure out other ways to get our stuff? Actually, one thing that bothered me from the last episode, it wouldn't let me close the thing up. So, close now, guys. Our combine is folded up. She is good to go. Sitting here, this beautiful machine that might want a bath at some point, but we can't afford a bath. At least the real moves. So, it's in working order. So, anyway, I hope to see you guys on the next video.